Why is it that some people retire and somehow become more themselves, and others finally stop working and don't quite know what to do with the quiet? It's not always about money, because we have always seen both sides. And if we are being honest, it's a little uncomfortable to think about. We arrive with what we practiced. We like thinking life will eventually settle into something peaceful. Like if we plan well, push hard enough, hold on long enough, it will all just come together at the end. But life doesn't really wrap itself up like that. We arrive with whatever we practiced. So if we have been rushing for 30 or 40 years, it's a bit optimistic to think we will suddenly become calm on a random Tuesday or any other day. Some of us can't even sit still for 10 minutes without reaching for our phones. But we are hoping one day we will magically enjoy stillness. The people we don't mean to lose. Some people retire surrounded, not by everyone, just the right ones. And it's rarely an accident, because relationships don't usually end with a big moment. They fade quietly. You miss a call, then another. You say we will catch up soon, and somehow soon needs a calendar invite. At some point, you look around and realize you have been building a life you didn't have time to share. And that part doesn't fix itself just because work stops. The later version of us. Most of us have this version of ourselves we plan to become later. That person eats better, sleeps on time, drinks water like it's a personality trait. Basically becomes the main character of a healthy lifestyle video. And for some reason, that person's start date keeps moving. I'll get serious next month. Next month is one of the busiest places on earth. Some people don't wait for that version. They do small things now. Nothing dramatic, just enough that when life slows down, their body doesn't feel like it's been left behind. Because having time is one thing, having the energy to enjoy it is something else entirely. Work isn't the whole story. Work gives structure, it gives direction, but it becomes everything. Then what happens when it's no longer there? It's a quiet question, but an important one. Because many of us aren't just working, we are becoming our work. So when it stops, it's not just routine that disappears, it's identity. Some people keep parts of themselves outside of what they do. Things they enjoy that don't need to be productive. Conversations that don't lead anywhere. Days that aren't measured, which sounds simple until you realize how unfamiliar that can feel. The score we keep without noticing. A lot of us are keeping score all the time. Where are we? Where others are? What's next? What's missing? It's subtle but constant. And the strange thing is that habit doesn't retire. It just follows us. A little quieter, a little heavier. Some people put that down at some point. Not because everything is perfect, but because constantly measuring life turns out to be a tiring way to live it. Practicing the life we are headed toward. It's funny when you think about it. We spend years preparing for the future, but almost no time practicing how to be in it. just like training for a destination without checking if we know how to live there. Maybe retiring well isn't something that suddenly begins one day. Maybe it's something that's been forming quietly all along. In how we spend our time, in who we keep close, in whether we let life be felt or just managed. Because it would be a strange thing to finally have time and realize we never really learned how to enjoy it. We are all heading there in our own way, figuring it out as we go. And maybe it's not about getting everything right. Just, we don't have to live all life for later.